going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
Arctic Air keeps your home or business comfortable. For more than 20 years, we've provided outstanding residential and commercial services through Southern Middle Tennessee. Whether you need assistance with your heat, air conditioning, preventive maintenance, or anything in between, trust our reliable team to get the job done. We'll take the time to figure out your specific needs and recommend what we believe is right and best for your situation.
We've been using Arctic Air for over 15 years now. Their service is great, they're here when we need them, and their prices are competitive. They take the worry out of the heat and air so I don't have to.
Arctic Air. When you need us, we'll be there.
Financial advisor Scott Beasley knows time spent with family is everything. As a founder of Beasley Wealth Management, his mission is to give clients the freedom to enjoy time with family without the burden of financial concerns. A local of Lawrenceburg, Scott deeply values building relationships with clients, ensuring they make informed decisions concerning asset management, tax planning, and retirement planning. Offering a free initial consultation, Beasley Wealth Management helps clients pursue their aspirations with confidence. A local law firm respected throughout the state. Generations of clients have turned to Boston, Holt, and Durham since 1948. We assist individuals and businesses with their legal needs, including real estate, property closings, personal injury, employment discrimination, and family law. Our clients get the personal attention and convenience of a hometown law firm with the resources and ability to handle any case. Come see us at Boston, Holt, and Durham.
Since opening our doors in 1904, Builtwell Bank has existed to be the local economic engine for the communities we serve. No matter if you're buying a car, saving for retirement, or finally buying that forever home, Builtwell Bank is here to help. From personal checking and savings accounts to a full suite of business and commercial banking with treasury management services, we'll make sure you'll have a dedicated Builtwell banker that understands your unique needs and stands by you every step of the way. No matter where you are in Tennessee or Northwest Georgia, there's likely a Builtwell Bank location nearby. Come see us and let our dedicated financial team help you with all of your banking needs. Member FDIC.
At C&B Linen, fast, friendly, and reliable service is our promise to you. Because you're not just a customer, you're family. From multi-use linen to branded floor coverings and a complete range of cleaning supplies, C&B Linen is here to make sure you have everything you need. From our high-quality products to our fast, friendly, and reliable service, you'll experience the difference with C&B Linen. Because you're not just a client, you're part of our family. You'll be winning with C&B Linen.
Got a dent, a ding, a scratch, or a bent fender? Major or minor, Car Country Collision Center in Leoma can fix you up. Car Country works with all insurance carriers, gives free estimates, can work on foreign and domestic vehicles, and has experience you can trust. They've been in business since 1990. Unfortunately, accidents happen, but you can get your car back on the road with as little hassle as possible with the help of Car Country. Call 931-852-4708 or stop by at 2567 Highway 43 South in Leoma.
And welcome everybody here to X Sports Live. AJ Good here, joined alongside by Clint Brazier, Hayden Burks, Dusty Kaiser. Be on their way here shortly. And
we
Clint,
think.
We think, yeah. At least we know Hayden is.
Right.
Don't know where the big fella is, but hopefully he'll join us. And man, long time no see. It's been a week and a half. We couldn't do the show last week. Had a lot of games pushed.
A lot of
Wednesday.
makeup games.
A lot of makeup games, so we didn't do the show last week. But man, I haven't seen you guys, the whole group as a whole, since
WrestleMania.
Sunday night at WrestleMania.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. Lots going on in the wrestling world. Lots going on in the draft.
Right. Yeah.
A lot's going on right now, NBA basketball, and we got a lot of high school softball, baseball, tennis, soccer. A lot of district tournaments about to get kicked off here in our local area.
Yeah, Thursday. Actually, tomorrow. Kicking them off tomorrow. I know the local baseball tournaments are playing here tomorrow. Two of them. One, Lawrence County is hosting Murfreesboro Central. You got the Loretto Summertown District is over at Summertown. Expecting rain starting at about 1 o'clock tomorrow, so that could wreak some havoc on some of these schedules. But it's been the first time in a while for you, Clint.
It's weird.
It's just like basketball season, and like volleyball. We're hitting that crucial time of the year, and you've got nothing to worry about.
Yeah, I was planning on calling a lot of Summertown baseball games for Timmy this year, and I went and called the Loretta game, and they got beat, so they hadn't asked me back. So I've just been being a fan.
I know. I mean, you're just trying to help Timmy be a dad, and
you listen. It's like a bull in a china shop. He built that new press box, and he owns it. It's the way he looks. At least for this year.
Yeah. He's showing that off like it's the Biltmore Resort down in North Carolina.
Well, listen,
it's nice.
He got in there. It may not be much, but everything you've seen there, I think he did in about 10 days.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Yeah, so big shout out to him. But talking about this upcoming, Summertown really got a really good break by that what runs allowed, I think, was the tiebreaker, because Summertown, Loretta, and Lewis County all split. So it really worked out good, because now what you have is Loretta and Lewis County probably now sometimes still going to have to take care of business. Battle Creek played Summertown close, but you think you got to be sitting in a pretty good position, because Lewis County and Loretta is going to have to throw their best against each other to not start out in the losers bracket. So you got to like where you're sitting there, but. I would like to see where Loretta would be if they were healthy, if they had all the kids they could have. I'd like to see where Summertown would be if they had all the kids they're supposed to have. So you're both teams coming in here really not, I would say, at full staff. A lot of injury, a lot of season-ending injuries. So credit to both those teams. Here we are again. Summertown's 1, Loretta's 2, and we're flip-flopped that. That's the way it always is, and softball's sitting the same way.
With the Loretto, you mentioned them and all their injuries, but this is a team that's improved. You got a lot of young guys, the Ben Lyles and the Micah Ridgeways of the world, who had to play in the early part of the year because the basketball team made such a deep run, and the baseball and softball season started a week earlier than normal. But you can kind of see all of that experience that they got is really starting to pay off this time.
Well, listen, I don't care. You can practice. You can get as many reps. There's no better experience than in-game experience. And like you said, those kids are really starting to step up. I called the Summertown Loretta game early in the year, and it just wasn't smooth. It wasn't what you were expecting to watch the defending state champions. But you got to think about all they're missing and graduated. But yeah, I've been watching, just like I said, I've just been a fan. It's been nice to channel surf on YouTube and just get updates from Lawrence County, Loretta. I mean, I just say, well, they're winning, then I'll switch over to, So it's been really fun. So district tournament baseball's at Summertown. District tournament softball. Is it Summertown?
I think that's at Lewis County.
Oh, that is Lewis County. Lewis County.
They could shift them out Pleasant.
Softball's not like baseball. Baseball, whoever wins hosts. Softball, they still rotate. But I think that's going to come down to Summertown and Loretta again. Loretta's pretty hot right now. They've run-rolled about the last,
all three this week, including today. Both games against Lewis County and Mount Pleasant, they run-ruled those opponents all 3 games. I know at some point they're going to run into them.
And the last time Summertown and Loretta played at Summertown, it was close. So that rivalry, it really, how many times? You've been here long enough to realize, throw the records out. it's gonna. I mean, it's
Well, and I've also realized in any sport, when it comes to their district and their region, it always comes down to Loretto and Summertown.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Anytime when you put those together, now it could change a little bit next year with adding all these different teams and whatnot. Especially with the Forest of the world, because they're always going to be really tough and really hard to go up against. But another factor in the district tournament over at Summertown is the field. It's a wild card. It really is. Timmy talks a lot about it on the broadcast, but
turf monster.
yeah, there's a lot of craters. Some lips, there's some bad hops that could happen. It's a real wild card when you're playing out there.
Yeah, well, again, I'm just going by Timmy, and I have no reason not to, because he's a Summertown guy. But I've watched video. Quint Smith got a. I don't know if it got ruled a hit or an error or not, but it should have been a routine out at first that takes the craziest hop you ever seen, and
Right.
Quint gets a double out of it
Yeah,
on a routine ground out to first base.
Right.
So it is there, but I think that's one of those that can get the home team or because you don't know how to play it.
Right.
Just because it's your home field, that doesn't mean you know what to do out of this crazy hop. So I think that's you just may see more errors than you normally would.
yeah, but it still comes down to good pitching, timely hitting, all of those things. You got some short porches, especially to left and center. The home run ball might be a little bit more in play than maybe some of the other ballparks, but could be wide open. Or the bad weather persists, they might just move it on over to Mount Pleasant.
Yeah, I talked to Fred just a minute ago. I said, when we getting rain? He said, tomorrow, probably Friday, probably Saturday. Well, that's when the district tournament is.
Yeah, for all of our teams. All
Yeah,
of them
Thursday,
hitting at
Friday,
the same
Saturday.
time. Lawrence County getting to host a game here on Thursday before they head to Tullahoma for the rest of the week, because defending Class 3A state champions, even as good as they were a year ago, really tough. But you got this young bunch, a lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores in the lineup, learning a lot about each other and playing. It's been a roller coaster for them, but they've canceled the last couple games to really try to focus in on what they want to do, and got a big game and a couple big games coming up.
Hello, Hayden.
What's up?
Hell, if you can't get here on time, just get here when you can.
Yeah.
Well, hey,
Well, he did say 6:20, so he's getting here.
Don't worry, I'm going to give Dusty a lot more heck than I'm giving you.
Well, I mean, I'm
By the way.
glad it was a butt whooping because I was listening on the way. I'll just start off where y'all were probably at. Loretto softball, they look like Murfreesboro, both them and Summertown right now. So I'm excited. We might be in for a good one when it comes to district and region and all that stuff. So
Yep.
They're just smacking the tar. out
yeah,
of
they
the
had
ball
13
right now.
runs in the first inning with only one out.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, and they went to their lineup twice in the first inning.
I think
Yeah,
Loretto would
first.
probably tell you in Summertown too, though. They're definitely not going into this region. Community and Forest are going to be legit.
They're gonna
I
be
mean,
tough.
Always are.
even when Forest is down, they're so well coached, and I mean that's the way of life up there.
Yeah.
Softball. I mean that's so it should be a fun region tournament. Do you guys know whose year it is to host?
I think it's our year because last
Well, don't
year
they
it was,
go?
They
it's
go.
all
That's
home
right.
sites.
It's
Yeah,
just
it's
home
home
site.
sites.
Well,
I remember going to a
well,
game
if it's
with
two
you
number
last
ones, I
year.
wonder who gets two. If it comes down to that, that's the only thing it would come down to.
Region,
Well,
I think
last year, I think the region championship was at Community.
Yeah.
Because I remember having to go there after having the stomach flu
Yeah.
the day before and was healthy enough to go. So
Yeah.
I remember that. I think it comes back
Okay.
to this side.
because
of
didn't
the
I think was it Summertown that ended up falling short to Community in the
Yeah.
Okay,
It was
yeah.
close. I think 2-0,
Yeah.
2-1
It's
game.
one of
I
those-
think it was.
yeah. Yep.
Really close game down the stretch, and then they ended up losing there in sub-state. And one of the rare times we didn't have a softball team in Murfreesboro. Obviously Loretto baseball. We were a part of that. Made that deep run. But talking about Lawrence County, we'll get in the softball side of things. But first, on the baseball side of it, young team, a lot of ups and downs. But this is a team that, hey, they always say the best time to play is May. Calendar turns May tomorrow. District tournament game. It'd be a good time for these young guys to turn it on.
Yeah, I mean they've done a really good job bouncing back after they kind of got in that little slow slump. Start of April, midway through April. Good comeback there. Got Murfreesboro Central coming to town tomorrow, weather permitting. See how that goes. And after that, I mean, how many games they got to win to get to the championship? 2 games, isn't it?
3.
3 games.
3
okay.
total. The easiest road is win 3, which is tomorrow, then win Saturday, and then win Monday. That's the easiest road to get.
I looked at that bracket, and that one's a little odd because you got 6 teams, but there's a play-in game, so I'm trying to figure that out. But I mean, honestly, I think they're probably in the best position when it comes to seeding wise, in my opinion. So I like where they're at. You know, just take care of business, do what they did last year, get hot at the right time. You know, that's what we've all been talking about here at the office or just in our group text, all that stuff. I mean, doesn't matter what you do at the start of the season. You get hot at the right time in May, you got a good shot.
Alex Bedford is hitting the cover off the ball. Truett Kidd has really emerged as a good starter for this bunch. Justin Kimbrell, I'm talking about all the seniors right now who have really stepped up for him. Cole Schultz has been a rock, and his bat's really starting to come alive. These upperclassmen, if they're going to make a run, they're at least going to get back to the region tournament. They're going to need those 4 guys to step up in a big way.
Yeah, they're going to need them to step up in a big way. And, of course, they've done a really good job. And then also the younger guys, they've done a really good job throughout this whole entire season. They're going to, get some experience that they haven't seen yet, some baseball teams they haven't seen yet, and they're going to learn from it. And, them stepping up as well, that could be huge for Lawrence County going into district coming up tomorrow and then going into the region. And we'll see where they go from there. So I like where they're at.
They're hosting tomorrow, weather permitting, but then where is the district?
Tullahoma. Yeah. So it's basically this first round is all playing games at host sites.
It's basically the same trip I've been making for the last 4 years, except for the first one when it was at Lincoln County.
Right.
The rest have been at Tullahoma.
There's just no fun way to get to Tullahoma or Coffee County.
So we always joke back home in West Virginia, there's 86 ways to get to Cincinnati, and they all take 3 hours.
That's right.
So Tullahoma's the same way. There's 86 ways to get there, and they all take an hour and a half on the dot. So
that's how it is.
The way it is. Lawrence County softball got the 2th seed on Monday, taking care of business against Murfreesboro Central. And this is a team, good experience of youth and experience, and they're finally finding their way through the middle of all this right now.
Yeah, they're going to be playing. They're going to be hosting, which is huge for them because one thing for sure, they love to play at their home field. They more than likely they're going to play Tullahoma. I just don't see Murfreesboro Central beating Tullahoma. They split with Tullahoma at Tullahoma. They beat them 16-6. Yeah. And then at home they were down, I believe, 7-1 going into the bottom of the 7th. It just came up short, losing that one 7-6. So it's going to be a toss-up between those 2 teams. Like I said, I don't know how the tiebreaker was determined, but good thing they're the number 2 seed. So all they need to do is, I believe, just win 1 game, and that group is in the region, I think. Yeah. And that's, AJ, you probably know it better than I do. That's probably the first time in 3 or 4 years, I think, that they've been
close. I remember, was it last year or 2 years ago they went on a run?
Yeah,
where they were at the bottom of the district, and all of a sudden they got in the tournament and started.
I think that was.
People. I think you called it.
I did.
With that.
But they finished third.
I think that was.
If they'd have won one more game, they'd have got to play Lincoln County, but guaranteed a 2 seed at worst. But hey, credit to first-year coach Charlie Lloyd. He's done a great job with this bunch, and he's got to be pretty tickled with what he's got coming up as well.
Yeah, I mean, we've got 3 first-year head coaches. No, 4. Excuse me. We got 4 first-year head coaches. All 3 of our softball teams had brand new head coaches. With Wes Woods, with Charlie, and with Bryce over at Loretto, and they've got to be really liking what they have going into the postseason.
Yeah, softball's been fun. Of course, Coach Brenton Blackwood at Summertown, and I think 2 of them won the district, and the other 2 were 2 seeds.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty good first year.
Yeah, that's something.
And for softball, 1 seed and the other 2 were 2 seeds.
Yeah,
so
set the bar really.
Yeah, that's
really
what I just said.
Yeah, I thought you meant baseball side. I thought you meant the baseball side. My bad.
Setting the bar really high.
It's been a long week for me already.
It's only
Wednesday.
Yeah, it's only getting longer.
Trust me, I know. Yeah. And this rain's going to jack me up even more tomorrow if it comes through. So,
well, guys, coming up next, we have got a ton to talk about. A lot of stuff in the world of sports, NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball. A lot of stuff we got to get off of our chest.
Yeah, I wonder if the Lakers are going to sub tonight.
Well, we'll see. And we're not talking Subway either.
No.
That's coming up next. Exports Live brought to you by CMB Linen.
There's no job too big or too small for Gonzalez Lawn and Landscapes. Owner Chris Gonzalez works hard to make your commercial or residential properties one of the neighbors will envy. You won't find a lower price anywhere else, and that's a guarantee. We offer mowing, landscape removal, small construction jobs, and more. Our team is licensed and insured to ensure the best work for Lawrence County and surrounding areas. Your satisfaction is our goal. We won't leave until you're happy. Call today to set up a free quote.
Hey, this is Phil Hooper. Get the look you want for your favorite school, church, or business with apparel from HD Ink Screen Printing in Leoma, Tennessee. Got a logo you need embroidered or screen printed? Let HD Ink give you the professional look that sets the bar in today's world. We do fundraisers and custom designed apparel and so much more. Call today, 931-201-2961, or come see us at our new shop located at 26 Ingram Road in Leoma. Remember, HD Ink for the look you want and the look you deserve.
Flora Mid-South Realty is proud to partner with X Sports Network to bring you this week's Player of the Week. Congratulations to Kason Springer of Loretta High School Baseball. Kason has stood out with his hustle, leadership, and consistent performance on the field, earning him his well-deserved recognition as a Player of the Week. Kason, don't forget to be officially entered into our year-end 1,000 Amazon gift card drawing. Snap a selfie holding your award and send it to the contact info on your letter. Want to stay updated on local sports and real estate news? Tune in every Tuesday at 8 a.m. to the Flora Mid-South Realty Rockstars, rocking the real estate news and all things local. Just scan the QR code and join the conversation. Flora Mid-South Realty, supporting our youth, celebrating our community. Call us at 931-762-4247. At Flora Mid-South Realty, we pride ourselves on our family values, professional service, and a deep local knowledge. With a small town feel and a personal touch, we're here to help you navigate the real estate process with ease. Whether buying, selling, or renting, you can trust us to guide you every step of the way. And don't forget to catch Flora Rockstars, our live podcast every Tuesday morning at 8. Flora Rockstars, rocking the real estate news and all things local. Flora Mid-South Realty, your hometown real estate experts.
Pat's Cafe and Catering has been proudly serving customers in Lawrenceburg since 1987. For 4 generations, our family-run cafe has served up delicious breakfast and lunch favorites, with friendly service and a welcoming atmosphere. We also offer full-service catering and can help to make your next party or event a success. For great food and friendly faces, visit us today at Pat's Cafe and Catering.
The Raptor Series from Hustler Turf. A premium line of residential mowers designed with a wide stance for operator comfort, a one-piece 11-gauge steel frame and welded steel deck for added durability, finished off with premium Kawasaki V-twin power. We are Hustler Turf, and this is Hustler Country.
From our humble beginnings to today, Parks Lumber Company has continuously served Lawrence and surrounding counties for over a century. Although we started as a small lumber yard in 1896, we have grown to include everything you need to make your dream project come to life. No matter your building needs, our experienced staff will be with you every step of the way to ensure you receive the highest customer service and attention to detail you deserve. Visit us at 106 2nd Street or on Facebook. We guarantee you will see working with PLC is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
A local law firm respected throughout the state. Generations of clients have turned to Boston, Holt, and Durham since 1948. We assist individuals and businesses with their legal needs, including real estate, property closings, personal injury, employment discrimination, and family law. Our clients get the personal attention and convenience of a hometown law firm with the resources and ability to handle any case. Come see us at Boston, Holt, and Durham.
At C&B Linen, fast, friendly, and reliable service is our promise to you. Because you're not just a customer, you're family. From multi-use linen to branded floor coverings and a complete range of cleaning supplies, C&B Linen is here to make sure you have everything you need. From our high-quality products to our fast, friendly, and reliable service, you'll experience the difference with C&B Linen. Because you're not just a client, you're part of our family. You'll be winning with C&B Linen.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
Welcome back to X Sports Live, brought to you by C&B Linen. Clint Brazier, AJ Good, and Hayden Burke stepping into the frame here now. And man, guys, we had a crazy sports week last week, and we've already had a crazy sports week coming into this week. Let's dive into the NFL draft right off the get-go. Number one, first impressions of the Titans' overall draft. I know the focus is Cam Ward, but a lot of other guys joining the organization as well.
I think he did everything right. I think he looked the part. But I told you guys on here, Titans need a whole hell of a lot more than a quarterback.
Right.
I mean, I hope he doesn't get murdered next year. But I don't feel like there's no way you're drafting the number one pick if he's not our starting quarterback.
Right. Right.
So it's going to be his job. But, I guess if you weren't going to trade that for more picks or whatever, I guess that's probably – it wasn't to me. I mean, we saw where Shooter Sanders fell. Yeah. It wasn't a stacked quarterback draft. I think they got the best quarterback in the draft. Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. Just Titans going to Titan.
Yeah, I'm not a big Titans fan anymore after the A.J. Brown trade is when I lost hope in them and just decided to jump off that ship. But, I mean, I think it's a good turnaround for him. I feel like having a quarterback that, I don't know if he's a franchise guy. We'll see. Hopefully he does. But then again, like you said, Clint, they're going to need a whole lot more. I think they did a really good job of what they found in the draft. I believe they got that safety from Penn State. Mm-hmm. They got a wide receiver. I can't remember where he's from.
Every expert, of course, Mel Kiper. What?
Yeah,
Mel
Kiper way off.
But all the so-called experts said the Titans had a great draft.
Yeah.
But there's just things the Titans do, like you said, that just turns me. I feel like they're just trying to turn the new stadium into Jerry's World of Nashville, and they don't really care if their football team's good because they're going to make money off of it.
Yeah.
But the whole Cam Ward thing, it's just hard for me. He's going to have to win me over because it's hard for me to, in this new college football world, to have faith in a guy that set out on his team for the second half of a bowl game and they got beat.
And he played for 3 different schools.
Yeah.
Now he made them better, all 3 of them better.
Right.
But he said with this team, that team, and that team, and also – I think this is big, especially when you're talking the long-term success of an organization. He's stepping into a quarterback room that only has Will Levis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's not good.
Yep.
And Will Levis is terrible, and he's stepping into a quarterback room, and that's the best that you have to lead the guy in the right direction.
We'll find out how good of a offensive mind and quarterback coach Callahan is.
Right.
And I think he is a good one.
Right.
But he's fixing to have to show it. He's fixing to have to. I mean, this is the guy you wanted. This was your pick. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying we'll hire him or fire him next year, but
you better win more than 3 games.
Well, and I think we're also going to get to the point now where right now when kids are getting drafted is when they're mostly being developed because they're not in college.
Right.
They're going and playing, and then they're either changing schools to play for more money, or they're going to the NFL.
Right.
Yep.
The development has gone so much down to me in college football that now he's under contract. He can't go anywhere else. Now he's got to set and learn. So let's see what he does.
Yeah. And when you look at the Titans draft, what's their biggest weakness?
Offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
What did they not get?
An offensive lineman.
Offensive lineman. I'm looking at secondary, tight ends, receivers, running backs, and I think a linebacker.
Yeah.
They got no help on the offensive line.
And that was my
None.
The only thing I can think is maybe free agency. They're going to do some trading or buying, but
Well, I know they're only keeping 2 offensive linemen. The Northwestern kid that they took a few years ago, and I can't remember who the other one was, but the rest of the line, they're gone. So they'll be shopping around for sure.
yeah.
I mean, they better shell out.
Right.
You can go
Whatever money you got, you give it to them.
Yeah, give it to the best guys you can. And, it's James Pierce. Where did he end up at?
Atlanta.
Kansas City.
Yeah. It was Atlanta.
It was Atlanta.
Oh, was Atlanta?
Yeah.
It was Atlanta.
What's his name? The number 55, Lott.
Lott.
Yeah, Norman Lott. He's at Kansas City. What threw me off about James Pierce was Atlanta had the 15th or 16th pick, and they took another edge rusher. Then they drafted up to get James Pierce at
To have
27 to have 2 picks.
Yeah.
That's what threw me off. I'm thinking, what in the world is Atlanta doing? Trading up to get another
Loading up defensive
edge?
line,
yeah,
baby.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean,
of course, I think it's a good pick, and I think that's a good place for James Pierce, a place where he can kind of sit back and learn a little bit more of an NFL defense and all that stuff. So, from a Vols side, Clint, I think we had some pretty good pickups when it comes to signing.
We had 3 that got after
Dante,
the draft, undrafted, but still signed with the team.
Yeah, I'm not sure who the ones that were. I know the Brooks guy. He's at Kansas City.
Will Brooks.
Yeah, Will Brooks.
Yeah.
I'm
Thomas.
Yeah.
And I can't remember where he went. But it was good. Dylan Sampson. Hady's got to go to Cleveland, but Shooter maybe just hand him the ball. Maybe they can run things for a while.
Yep. The only one I wish will get drafted, of course, I doubt he's going to, because one, he's old and he's injury prone, is Brew McCoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only one. But other than that, I think Tennessee had a good outing when it comes to the draft. So,
well, let's see. You mentioned it a bit, Clint. Let's get into this whole Shedeur Sanders. We were told for how many months? We were basically told in last college football season, Shedeur is going to be a top 5 pick. Mel Kiper was saying it. His daddy was certainly saying it a lot. Every college football person, oh yeah, he's going to be a first-round pick. You know who didn't think Shedeur Sanders was a first-round pick?
Every
32 team GMs, yeah.
All 32 teams, and most guys really locked into the NFL. None of those guys outside of Mel Kiper were saying he was a first-round pick.
I've had some friends that we've got into it with that thinks the NFL's done him wrong. That they were sending a message, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how good Shedeur is. It's not like I watch Colorado. I just watch highlights. But you can't tell me that owners didn't see them retire his jersey at Colorado with a 13-12 record.
Yeah.
He got one more win of a winning record than I do at Colorado, and got his jersey retired.
Right.
I mean, there's Colorado greats that still hadn't got their jersey retired.
Yeah.
Played 2 years.
Yeah. Guys that won national champions.
8th in Heisman voting.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I just think a lot of teams were scared of what's going to come with it.
Yeah.
I mean, the tape. Well, and then you read all these stories about what he was like in those interviews, like that. Well, there's a lot of factors into it. It wasn't a good quarterback draft. There wasn't a lot of teams needing a quarterback.
Yep.
And then he interviewed with the teams that needed a quarterback: Titans, Jets, Browns, and apparently did horrible.
And they all backed out.
In every single one of those interviews. And if it wasn't for Jimmy Haslam telling his guys, all right, this has gone on long enough, please draft him, pulling a draft day thing, he might have gone undrafted.
Yeah.
I mean, legit might have gone undrafted unless, the Steelers wanted to pick him up. But, it's just turning into one of this, like they all said, he was acting like we needed to recruit him. That's not how the NFL works.
Mm-mm.
You have to convince them to take you.
Who was it? Wasn't Shifter. That was actually somebody I liked, but was saying basically the word they've got from several GMs was there were way too many Shooter saying me instead of us or we. It was me in so many of those interviews.
And where are you going to be and see yourself 5 years? Mayor of the city, brought his entourage in, had his headphones bound around his neck with the music still on. He literally FaceTimed somebody in the middle of an interview. He sandbagged every single one of them. And in one of the interviews, he goes, man, just look at the tape. Well, they looked at the tape and they said you sucked. So You're maybe not suck that bad, but if you're not jumping, if you're not an elite level athlete, which he is not, and I think everyone has agreed on that, you have to sell who you are, that you are going to change this franchise. He did the exact opposite.
13-12 in the Big 12. Okay, had the best player in college football. That he threw a lot of dump passes that turned into 80, 90-yard passing yards.
Which, if you've seen the videos of Cam Ward talking trash during their off-season workouts,
yeah,
Cam Ward knew about.
But again, I don't know that one of us three couldn't throw for 2,000 yards in the Big 12. They ain't got no defense there.
Travis Hunter,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I don't know that GMs just didn't look at it and say like, nah, you really hadn't shown us a lot.
And the year before, when he was facing the elite, when the Pac-12 went out on a high note with 5 or 6 ranked teams, and he did awful against, not every single one of them, but he did awful against a lot of them. And I honestly think this is a good thing overall, because I think the ego got knocked down a peg, and if it didn't, well, guess what? He's just not going to make it in the NFL anyways.
I said it the other day. We had a barbershop discussion, just several sitting around talking. I think there's 2 things that's happened this year that might have helped. The Nico situation and Tennessee taking a stand.
Yeah.
He's going to make less than $1 million out in California after taxes and everything out there. All right. And then this Shedeur Sanders thing. I think it's, if nothing else, it's going to make some college players realize maybe I shouldn't jump around.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to show some more loyalty.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe I shouldn't make it about me as much.
Yeah.
And be happy with what I'm getting.
Right.
I think there's 2 things that hopefully we'll start taking. I think we would all agree. Where college football is right now, none of us like, right?
No.
So we need something. We need something to catapult it the other way. And I think we've had 2 things that may have done that.
Yeah.
Or at least try to switch the narrative.
Well,
or like
it had to have set an example.
Yes.
I mean, because there were 2 big things that happened. This thing with Nico was unprecedented, and then look at Shedeur.
Yeah.
I mean, this is.
We've seen players
no
drop.
Tom Brady.
We've seen players drop, but we've never seen them drop from a projected top 10 to 144.
I don't think many people had him in. No. There's a lot of these teams, and all these reports are coming out. A lot of these teams never had the guy on their board, period.
Yeah.
So the only people saying he was a top 5 first
was
round
his
pick
people.
was his people. And they
Mel Kiper.
And those people, which I think convinced Mel Kiper that he was one of those top picks.
Yeah.
But I think you're right, Clint. I think it's starting to set a precedent that you come in with this massive ego. Now, here's where the NFL is different than all the other 3 big leagues, the NBA, Major League Baseball, and the NHL. They're all about winning all the time. NBA tanks a lot, NHL not so much. Major League Baseball, we know they tank a lot. That doesn't work in the NFL. There is no such thing as tanking. You have to win every game, and they're not going to mess around with someone who doesn't have the talent to match the ego that he's going to.
That's what I love about the NFL. Whether you're a Super Bowl winning team or the worst team in the league, as soon as that last game's over with, you're trying to figure out how to win a Super Bowl.
Right.
The next year.
Yep.
And I think the NFL could be college football's best help at maybe restoring some sanity.
Right.
Let's get the we've talked about it on here. You want to do name, image, likeness, what it's actually supposed to be. You want to get a percentage of jersey sales. You want to make commercials and get paid for it. Fine, but let's cut out the other. Let's cut out the other components that can come in and offer you $1 million.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not college football. That's not NIL.
Right.
I mean, that's just a private organization and donors offering you contracts.
Yeah, and if they give you that, you must also live up. You got to do the autograph signings. You got to sign pictures. You got to kiss babies. All the things Nico was not doing.
Yeah.
There's obligations that come along with, if you're going to get paid for your name, image, and likeness, you actually got to show up for your name, image, and likeness.
And again, Shedeur Sanders, like I said about Nico, he's a young kid. I think maybe the worst thing that could have happened for him is he played for Dion.
His entire life.
His whole life.
His entire life.
But maybe the kid, this could be a wake-up call. He's going to go into Cleveland, and he's probably got a chance to win a starting job.
And you look at, they got 5 quarterbacks on the roster. Just Sean Watson, which I think, he redid his deal, which I think Cleveland's going to do that to shop somehow. 40-year-old Joe Flacco. They brought in Kenny Pickett, and they drafted Dylan Gabriel in front of it. they can only keep 3 of those guys. Watson more than likely is out, so now you got 3 guys. You have 4 guys fighting for.
But
3
listen,
spots.
I can also see Cleveland at the end of it just cutting him. Like if he comes in and is the same way he's been in interviews and all this stuff and more about
gone.
me.
Yeah.
All right, we're cutting bait.
Yeah.
It'll be
we
Joe,
thought
Kenny, and Dylan. Yeah.
We thought Dylan was better than you anyways. Good
Right.
luck on the rest of
Yeah,
the
we
market.
picked him before we picked you.
Tell your daddy to tell you're wide open now.
Mhm.
All those teams you spurned to get there. So
And I don't care what anybody says. If you come in, if he doesn't get a little humble, what do you think that's going to do to him on the playing field? You don't think he's going to be a target?
Yeah.
He's going to get lit up. If he thought he couldn't get away from defenses in the Big 12,
he's wearing red.
Yes.
Yeah. He's going to be wearing red if he's in the game.
He's going to have to find a little humility, I think.
There's a few guys, I think, if he does find his way on the field and starts, that are willing to take a few fines, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Knock the legendary off of his gold chain.
Right.
Send it into the 5th row.
Rip that chain off.
Yeah, rip that chain. It's happened several times. Moving on to the NBA guys, and JJ Redick's a genius. I never thought ever in the history of the game of basketball, outside of high school where you just don't have the depth, or maybe middle school or AAU where you just don't have the depth, but not in the NBA. For the first time, I believe, since 1997, someone went a half without subbing in a game and blew a double-digit lead going into the 4th quarter. I don't know if I've been thinking about it all the last couple days. Did he mean to do that?
Did he get caught up?
Did he get caught up in the whole thing, part of the game, thought he did and he didn't, or he is just that dumb? It's one of those 3.
No, I think it's option 4. I think there's no way, with as many assistant coaches he had, there's no way somebody say, hey, what about putting connecting right here? What about, there's no way somebody didn't, and him shoot that down.
Yeah. Right.
I don't think he got caught up in a game and just forgot to sub. But I guarantee you, LeBron said, hey, we got a we're not subbing nobody. Yeah. We got this. And then they got beat.
And now they're down 3-1, and they got to win out at this point. So
and listen, tonight, could this be LeBron James' final game? Is he coming back next year? I mean, they still might.
He hasn't really talked about it, but
I think he's coming back.
I think he's coming.
Yeah, I think he's coming back. I wouldn't be shocked either way. I don't think I'd be shocked either way. Minnesota's going to win this game tonight. I hate to say it. Minnesota's going to win this game.
I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really think they're going to win this game.
I don't think they can do it either, but how great would it be if Steph and the Warriors got hot and he wins his 5th? Even though
there's going to be some uncomfortable conversation.
They're playing right now, and they're up 3-1.
Well, I watched a podcast, and Paul Pierce was bringing that up. He says within this era, there's 2 players, LeBron and Steph. Those are the 2 guys. LeBron's got 4, and if Steph wins it, he's got 5. So there's going to be some uncomfortable conversations. Now, me, I don't know yet. We have to see if that gets there. But then again, it's going to be tough comparing LeBron to Steph when it comes to championships and who had a better impact in this era, and where's Steph going to rank if he gets at number 5. So there's going to be a lot of talks.
Steph's a point guard. That's as many as Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
If that happens, now you still got to do it, and I don't think they will.
Yeah, I think they're definitely better than what they can, and honestly, I think if you're a Warriors fan, you probably want LA to come back and win this because I think they have a better matchup between LA and they do Minnesota.
Yeah, probably so because of speed and youth, but. I still say Steph's got enough gas in his tank. I think Jimmy's being a good
number
attribute
2
to that. Yeah. They had a big man in Golden State. They can go on another run.
Yeah,
because Steph still got it.
Yeah, they've been playing small. Draymond, he's been doing his thing defensively.
Oh, that's what I say. Get rid of Draymond.
Yeah,
it's just time for him to go.
Yeah, it's tough.
I'm so sick of Draymond.
It's tough from that point of view for Draymond. But the thing is, I'm a Draymond fan here and there when it comes to that. Of course, then again, I'm a Golden State fan. But when it comes to Draymond, he's just so impactful on the court. That's why I don't know if there's a lot of people that probably want to get rid of him because of all the crap they deal with. But then again, there hadn't been. Kuminga was supposed to be that guy to take Draymond's spot. Kaminga hadn't even played
Yeah,
more
but
than 15
I'm
minutes.
saying make a splash and go after Joker. I'm saying make a splash and go after Giannis.
I was just listening today. They were talking. Brian Windhorst was talking about it. They were saying with Giannis, they don't know if he's going to be in Milwaukee next year because Lillard, he's going to be out basically the entire year with an Achilles injury.
And it's Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And it's Milwaukee. So think about it. You can trade like a bunch of those young guys and maybe Jimmy and probably Draymond. You're going to have Steph and Giannis on the team, and that right there by itself can win you a championship.
It's like Chuck Daly used to joke back in the day to the Pistons. He used to tell John Sally, Sally, if you can't make that play, I'm going to trade you to Milwaukee. You ain't got those night clothes up there in Milwaukee.
It's cold in Milwaukee.
Right now, the Rockets are up 28 in the first quarter, but obviously
I think the Rockets are going to win that one.
Anything could happen from there. We had a crazy elimination last night. I'm guilty. It was 118 to 111 in overtime. The Bucks had the Pacers down. Guys, I got up to go wash some dishes after making dinner. And then I come back and I'm watching Giannis and Halliburton's dad getting into it on the court. I'm like, what? And I look at the final score. I'm like, how? It was 32 seconds when I got up to go. Like, this game's over.
They were up by 7 with 32 seconds. And those were the stupidest, like Little League basketball wouldn't even make stupid turnovers like that. Like, first off, it's sideline out of bounds. You throw it, one guy versus 3 Indiana Pacers defenders, throws it right in their hands. They score. And then, who in the world does a jump pass in a full court press across the court, goes into the guy's hand, goes between the legs, and goes out of bounds? Doc Rivers had his hands up like this. And right there, I was watching it. I'm thinking, they're going to lose this game. And sure enough, Halliburton came down, scores it, and Indiana wins 119 to 118 in overtime. Of course, then again, that was a story in itself. But then again, AJ, we're going to bring it up about what came after that. So that was the worst part of the whole ordeal.
More bad sports parents, even in the pros.
Before we get into that, do we need to have a serious conversation about Doc Rivers might be overrated?
He's got to go
as a coach. Like, really benefited from Paul Pierce and Garnett.
I was going to say
besides
the championship in Boston, poor Doc. He just it's stuff like that you question. It's not winning championships, but it's losing games like that.
Yeah, in which I was in Pennsylvania on some of those press conferences during some of those tough losses with the 76ers, and it was they would be up big in the first half, go in the second half, and have an absolute collapse.
Cannot make no adjustments.
That happened a ton, even in the regular season, but at worst in the postseason with his teams. And it might not be. Some of it is a Ben Simmons issue, but we've seen the same everywhere he's gone.
Did you see Ben Simmons shoot an air ball from 5 feet?
That sounds about right.
Last night or the other.
I couldn't even do that.
That's so good. But anyways, I think Doc Rivers. I didn't used to think he was overrated because I think he's a good guy. But the more that he goes, he had an excellent Clippers team, went nowhere. Had an excellent 76ers
He's had
team.
talent. He's had the talent.
I think that was more of a Garnett, Pierce, and Allen overcoming bad coaching, or maybe Doc at his best
and determined we're going to win one.
Right. And to think they fired a guy just to bring him in. And that's...
Which, in my opinion, never should have been there. And how he was the Eastern Conference All-Star coach that year out of the rest of them, that makes no sense at all after being there for 2 weeks. So,
anyways, getting into the Halliburton, Giannis. So for those who don't know, end of the game, Halliburton's dad has a blanket.
It's like a towel with something with his face.
With Tyrese, and Giannis is just standing there at the court like this, like just dumbfounded. We just blew a 7-point lead in 30 seconds, and he goes over and he just starts waving
puts it in his face and waves it.
Yeah, and cursing at him.
And then after the game, Giannis comes over to confront him, or what's going on with this. Kind of a back and forth. Now Halliburton apologized and he made his dad apologize, so good on him for taking control of the situation. But we're seeing a lot of bad sports stats, a lot lately.
Yeah. Well, I guess he could have done worse. Could have made fake accounts and stuff, attacked him. But but with that said, how do you listen? I don't care. I get it. It was a great comeback. and your son's a great player. But in what reality do you think it's okay for you to run on an NBA floor and talk maybe the best player in the NBA? And again, I'll say this: he's brave,
right?
Because if I have to go trash talk somebody like this, I'm not doing it.
7 foot tall and
I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
He's brave. I don't know if he's tough, but he's brave.
You saw AJ showed you the video. I mean, they were like forehead to forehead, just talking.
Well, they were like forehead to forehead, like
this.
Well,
or this,
or he could be a little brave. You know what I mean?
It was like a Spider-Man kiss. They were forehead to forehead.
You know, one of my favorite guys I covered in minor league hockey always used to say, if the guy's an inch or more taller than you, don't fight him.
Yeah.
Don't mess with him.
Don't mess with him. Like, you know, it's just not worth it there at the end of the day. But, you know, it's like Charles Barkley said. I heard him on the Dan Patrick Show. You know, if he comes to me, I'm knocking him out.
I guarantee you, he wouldn't have done it in the 80s and 90s.
No. There would have been 5 guys that would have knocked him out before he even got the Giannis. Wouldn't have been even close to it.
Well, they were speaking of Charles and Shaq. They were talking about it like in there after the nightcap game when they were talking about the highlights and all that stuff. And they were talking about it, and Charles, you know, he was saying Tyrese dad was wrong and all that stuff. And I agree with Shaq with a lot of things. But that right there, what he said last night, I totally disagree. Saying that it was all Giannis's fault because he was talking trash to his dad. I'm like, you can see the video.
Yeah.
Giannis is standing there with his jaw dropped because they, like you said, they just
He's
blew
heartbroken.
7.
Yeah.
That's the 3rd time he's been eliminated in the third or the first round in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So of course he's like, man, we just blew this 7-point
Shaq
lead.
doesn't even know who coaches half of these teams.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's.
He don't even know how to pronounce these guys' names
Yeah.
half the time.
Well, he actually probably is better than Barkley.
Yeah. But at least Barkley knows their names. He just can't pronounce it. But Barkley even called Shaq out. He goes, "Yeah, Shaq was wrong, but you know, when he comes on my court, I'm knocking him out."
We need to do a segment like they do for me or Dusty and just do who he play for.
Who he play
Me
for.
and Dusty we would get half of them wrong.
What's the big, tall European guy that he could never pronounce? Valanciunas.
Valanciunas or whatever.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah.
But
come on, man. That's his name, bro.
You know, we've got just kind of looking at Timberwolves Lakers play tonight at 9. Tomorrow, Celtics beat the Magic, so they moved ahead. We got Nuggets and Clippers. Denver's up 3-2 in that series. That's tomorrow night. Knicks and Pistons. The Pistons went into New York.
I think that's going
Gotta
7.
win. That might go 7.
Well, I'll tell you this though. I was talking to my mom about it because we were watching ESPN and it was Get Up, and if I'm going to say this: if Tom Thibodeau don't make it past the second round, or if he gets eliminated in the first round, he's got to go.
Right.
He has got to go.
Which we've had 2 sweeps: Thunder, Grizzlies, which we all thought that was going to happen. Cavaliers, Heat, which, by the way, I think honestly, us 4, adding Dusty probably would have gave a better effort than what the Heat did in Game
55 points, really.
Oh,
I saw that halftime score and I could not believe what that was. It was 80-something to 30.
Pat Riley's got to take a look in the mirror. Like, I know the Jimmy Butler situation is not good, but when Jimmy Butler had a game like he did with a bruised pelvis and dropping 27 and 14 in the fourth quarter against Houston in a Game 4 to take a 3-1 lead, and then your team get beat by 55 against the number 1 team, that's saying something.
That's a dog.
Yeah.
That's a dog. I mean, I don't agree with every. Jimmy always seems like he's unhappy everywhere he is, but I like his attitude in Golden State.
Yeah.
Like, that's good Jimmy. That's
the best thing going for him there is he's playing with somebody that he knows is better than him.
Right.
Yes.
Like, he don't have the swag.
And he's okay being the side piece, which is, that's...
And it opens up for him because they're all focused on Steph whenever he's on this side of the court, and Jimmy's like, well, if y'all are focused on him, I can go score the ball. Like,
open shots.
Yeah, open shots.
Yeah. Moving on to Major League Baseball, the Braves are not as bad as when
we're not in last anymore.
Yeah. They're 2 games under 500, 7 games out of first. But kind of the point I want to bring up is something happened last week. Jared Kelenic hits a ball at the wall, thought it was a homer, got thrown out at second. Snicker didn't bench him. Acuna responds on Twitter, X, however you want to put it. What are you all's stance?
There's something going on in that clubhouse.
I don't know how much longer Acuna's going to be there, honestly. I think, I mean, I don't know how y'all feel. I think it's, Acuna is starting to become a
Diva.
cancer. Well, that too, yeah. Of course, I think he's been that the past 3 years, in my opinion. But he's starting to become a cancer where I think eventually they're just going to have to either have a sit down or just say, okay, well, we're just going to part ways and move on.
Yeah.
Try to find a trade.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Something's not. I mean, you can see it from the leadoff batter to the end. You can see it in just. There's not that excitement that was there 2 years ago.
Yes.
And I don't know. It just seems like a lot of people out there going through the motions. And then when that happened, you just said, well, it may just be a Cooner, or it may be a split locker room. I don't know, but they're fixing to have a shakeup.
Yeah.
And plus, the Braves just announced they're spending how many billions on a new stadium renovation and all this stuff to make it a state of the art. You know, like
ballpark.
They're going to make that where you don't have to go to Atlanta. That's going to be a vacation destination. That whole city they're building around it.
Which
So
I'm not going to complain. We don't have
God,
to.
no.
You're coming from here. We don't actually have to go through Atlanta.
Yeah.
To begin with.
Yeah, if you go to Atlanta, you've missed a turn.
Yeah.
You may not come back.
Depending on what turn you make, you
right.
might not come back. Yeah. No, hey, as someone who went the turn, you went the turn. I'm sure you guys went to Turner Field multiple times. I remember.
I've been there.
I think it was one of the last years they were at Turner Field. Went there to watch the Cubs, and they charged me more for parking than my actual ticket to get in. I joke with the guy. I go, you actually going to take this money in to improve your ball team, or you just upcharging because the Cubs are in town? He goes, no, we're upcharging because the Cubs are in town.
No. I remember when I was a kid, we were on our way to the beach. Of course, Braves tickets, you could get dugout seats. You could walk up and get dugout seats because they were terrible in the 80s. But the old Turner Field, I remember my granddad saw this guy with a $5 parking right in. It was close to the stadium. We pulled in there and parked. He backed the van up, and it's got every belonging. It's got all our clothes, everything for vacation in it. And this cop said, "Hey, was that y'all's van that parked there?" And my granddad said, "Yeah." He said, "That's a trap house."
Old Fulton County.
Old Fulton County. And my granddad had to go get it. And of course, he tried to get his $5 back. Then they just ran.
Oh,
I think I was about 6 or 7 years old, and I learned what a trap house was.
You got some real world experience right there. Well,
Quick, too.
I think Jeff Francoeur obviously calls games for the Braves, said it best. And I think Acuna really needs to realize in his camp, or all these people are feeding him, like, I know Braves fans, even though I think more and more of them are starting to realize this, and because the sense that I get, talking with guys who are Braves fans or people I grew up who are Braves fans, that they didn't want to admit that when he came back after the injury, but you're only hitting, 138 in your postseason career.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the ones he does hit, they go a long way, but he just doesn't hit them that often. And this team won a World Series without you. Like, it might sound like a cheap argument, but in all reality, this team won a World Series without you.
Well, I said it watching him.
They've proven they can win.
I said it watching him the other night. Remember Major League 2?
Yeah.
I said he's turned into Willie Mays Hayes where he wants to be a home run hitter.
Yeah. Right.
And, hey, everything's great when they're hitting them out of the park, but when you're not, you're a big liability.
Yeah, and a generational talent in right field. I think a generational talent should be in center.
Yes.
But, you can't be a generational talent if you're constantly rehabbing from injuries. Like, something has to give eventually. with
How
this
old is
guy.
he? 27, 28? 28?
I believe.
Well, he's too young. Right now, is where he should be. If he's going somewhere else, he should be able to negotiate big contracts. I don't think he's going to have that clout in his back pocket to do.
No,
especially
his stock's gone way down than it was 2 years ago.
His postseason average, his postseason production, and the fact you're injured all the time. There's your talent better outweigh your problems, and I don't think that's doing it for him right now to get that money. So, well, guys, coming up next, you think we had a lot to get off our chest in pro sports? Wait till we talk wrestling. It's coming up next here on Exports Live, brought to you by CMB Linen.
For the best meal from south of the border, head to Cocina Real in Puente Grande for lunch and dinner. With a wide array of mouth-watering entrees, there's something for everyone on the menu. And you can't forget the cheese dip. They'll treat you like family, and you'll never leave hungry. Make Cocina Real Mexican Restaurant and Puente Grande Mexican Restaurant your choice for authentic cuisine, located in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee.
I'm Mike Keith, and my friends at Elliott Johnson Insurance have a great partner in Auto Owners Insurance. Auto Owners makes it easy to get life, home, car, or business insurance. Let Elliott Johnson Insurance find the Auto Owners policy that makes a difference in your life. Call Elliott Johnson Insurance at one of their 3 locations, Florence, Loretta, and Lawrenceburg. Elliott Johnson Insurance, moving forward for our clients every day.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
You remember that time we... Where you at, big guy?
I love it.
Where you at,
Mike
man?
is in 5 other different directions. Well, welcome back here to X Sports Live, brought to you by C&B Linen. On to the wrestling side, guys. It's been a couple weeks since WrestleMania. And let's just get right into it. The shock and awe of not only John Cena winning, which I don't think that's the shocking part, it's how he won it and who was not there and everything that has been said after the fact.
Let me go first here.
Go for it.
After the initial shock wore off, I realized I was too critical of WrestleMania. Yeah. It was a good show.
It was. Yeah.
Both nights was a great show. Were really good shows. Was it as good as last year? No.
No, not close.
But that's going to be hard to do.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not going to. I mean, when you have one as good as was the year before, yeah, it was obviously going to be a letdown. But the main event of night 2, I didn't need Travis Scott. I needed The Rock there. I needed that story to be told. But that's not what they gave us. And they're apparently going in a total direction where he's not going to be out there. I do love the promos John Cena has been giving have been gold.
Yes.
I mean, he literally has the WWE crown. That shows how stupid some of us fans can be.
Yeah.
He's got them cussing at him and then telling him they're sorry.
Yeah.
All in 5 minutes.
Yeah. In that promo, they were chanting, "We are sorry," and he had to say, "That's exactly what y'all are saying. We aren't sorry." Like, he had to say, "We aren't sorry," because they were saying, "We are sorry."
But yeah, that I just don't understand. And my whole biggest problem, and I don't know if Travis Scott just wouldn't do it, but Cody Rhodes owed him a receipt, and he didn't get it. Yeah, he gave him the crossroads, but
I need a jaw.
I need to see that nose bleeding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just if you were going to use Travis Scott, if you weren't going to use The Rock, we didn't need Travis Scott out
Exactly.
there. If Cena didn't need The Rock's help, he sure didn't need Travis Scott's help.
Yeah.
I think the story would have been fine with Cody wasn't going to use the belt and go low or take a cheap shot, and by God, Cena was prepared to do it. That would have been a fine story without
Travis
Scott there. Yep. If we weren't bringing The Rock out, so it was just kind of left me a little dumbfounded. I like kind of where they're going. Obviously, I think it's going to set up Randy Orton and Cena for Backlash. I think that's going to be a oneer. I don't think that's going to be a long feud.
No, it can't, because he's only got
26 days.
He has
left,
a ticker on the backdrop now of how many appearances he's got left. So there's only so many you can have with John Cena now.
But I love, I mean, I think we all called it, but I love the Paul Heyman turning. I think that could be great.
That was really good.
I love that. I love the Raw after with Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
You know, being part of that, because we knew he was about to get a bump.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just too big. I've said it on here. I think he's your next Goldberg type wrestler. But now somebody else got to come.
Right.
Somebody else got to come with it. But Monday Night Raw sucked the other night. I love Sammy.
Yeah.
But he's not the guy that come out confront him. And
there's just nothing about Sammy that goes, watch out. Here comes Sammy. Oh.
Well, even the crowd was like, oh, I guess the crowd had a look on their face like, well, I guess Punk and Roman's not here tonight.
Yeah.
No surprises here.
Yeah. Hey, Pat, go up there and stand and give a promo on Gunther.
Speaking of, that might have been my rant, but Gunther's way too good and big.
That should be a disgrace.
If he doesn't squash Pat McAfee,
this better be
done.
This better be a squash match.
Yes, he better kill him. Like Pat McAfee, hopefully needs to be taking a break or something.
Or maybe the next feud that Gunther's getting into comes out and saves Pat.
Could.
Yeah,
that would be nice.
That's the only way Pat McAfee needs to win that match because Gunther, he can afford to lose matches, but that like the Jey Uso, he can afford to lose that match. But Pat McAfee, that really shouldn't even be a match. But WrestleMania, it was a good show. They had really good matches. The best match of the week, in my opinion, was that the men's triple threat match followed by the women's triple threat.
Yeah,
match.
back-to-back matches.
Yes, back-to-back triple
Saturday
threat
night,
matches.
Sunday.
Yes, those were the two best matches in my opinion. The Monday following WrestleMania was great. I like Braun Breaker. You and I, we've been talking about who the third member is. I think with that promo saying the future is now with Seth Rollins, I think they're going to take a younger guy. I like Austin Theory being that guy, or Ethan Page, old AEW guy. I think he'll be good.
I think, before you keep going, I was talking to Dusty about it, but I think they've got to get some giant.
Yes.
Whether it's Strowman, somebody they're not using a lot, because Strowman's not.
Yeah. Bronson Reed, I've heard, is going to be back pretty soon.
I see them getting a giant
that'd be
to
great.
go with them. Yeah. But I also could see it's got to be somebody they want to develop and give a push to as well. So, but sorry to cut you off.
But with the whole thing, you and I, we've been talking back and forth about the whole Travis Scott thing and The Rock being on the Pat McAfee show, and you said the exact same thing. I feel like with him not coming out to the ring, the final boss gimmick, that's got to go.
Yeah,
we're done with that.
If he doesn't feel like, and quote unquote, he doesn't feel like it's essential to the story, then let it be gone.
Yeah.
Like, and in all honesty, the way a lot of these decisions The Rock has made, like he was wanting Rock Roman at 40, didn't get that because the fans told him no. Like, if you're not going to finish the stuff, stay away. Like, don't get involved. Don't
get
come
involved
back
with it.
The only way that they can keep that going is if they're going to, at some point, pay it off with Cody getting to beat the crap out of him.
Right.
Like, if he just screws Cody enough, going to last year's WrestleMania to this year's, and all the abuse he's taken, that's really the only way. And if you're not going to do that, I don't want to see.
I don't want to see you. I don't want to hear
you
your
need to be
name.
making appearances like Stone Cold.
Yeah.
You just need to be waving to the crowd and
giving announcements and hitting fans in the front rows.
Possibly vehicular homicide.
The best sell of the week was that girl.
Yeah, that was the best sale of the week.
It was only about 3 seconds after it happened.
Brain damage when it hit her in the chest, hit her in the hip. If it didn't hit her at all.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to Backlash. A lot of the match. I hated that we're getting Logan Paul and Jey Uso. That is just so. I just don't get it.
It's going to be a good match.
It's going to be a good match. It's going to be a high flying match.
Listen, y'all. I know we all hate him. Dusty loathes him, but I'm telling you guys, Logan Paul right now is Macho Man-esque heel.
Right.
Promo and worker.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just that good.
Yeah.
I mean, he may be a part-timer, but he doesn't put on a bad match.
No. They've all been entertaining. And they're good.
Now, I don't want him to ever win.
No.
But if you don't ever win, then he's not as good as he is. Right. So, and I can't see him stealing Jay's thunder right after giving it to him too.
No, that's not going to happen.
Yeah,
but
after Damian,
you got to
what's his
feed
name?
the champion somebody. Like obviously, Cena's getting Orton. Whenever Cena gets Orton, which I don't think it's going to be a Backlash. It might be at the next one. So we got a lot of interesting.
No, I heard that they are having the Backlash.
Oh, they are having a Backlash.
That's the main
okay.
event. Yeah, but then again,
it's the day before Mother's Day. It's on a Saturday.
Yeah. But it's been 2 weeks. Cody hadn't been on, but I think we all can agree he deserves time. Yeah. And I don't know how long it'll be till we see him. Probably another Roman where he comes back at SummerSlam. But he's definitely earned some time, and I hope there's a heel turn. Yeah. I hope there's a heel turn with Cody. I think it's time.
We'll see. Well, guys.
I think he deserves to come back and pay some acknowledgement to the fans booing him.
Yeah.
And I don't want to necessarily see him a heel turn. I just want to see him almost like a Stone Cold in the before he was Stone Cold, where I don't like anybody.
Yeah.
That's where I want to see him.
It's DTA. Don't trust anybody.
Yeah.
Well, guys, wrapping up the show here. You got any rants?
Let me do mine, and I'm going to duck out.
Yeah, I don't got a rant. I don't have a rant.
To all our LeBron fans out there.
Here we go. It's going to be a long night.
You may be watching his last game, so enjoy it, because the man has, as much as I like to crap on him, he does have the longest, probably the best tenure of any player in the history of professional sports. To do what he's done at a high level. But for any of y'all that still are dying on that hill saying he's the greatest of all time, y'all remember when we were kids and you used to act like he was hurt, but then you'd look and see if anybody was looking?
Yeah.
LeBron literally did that in a basketball game the other
With
night.
a tight shot on him.
That's not a GOAT.
No.
That's all. Case closed.
There you go.
Yep.
That's a mic drop.
Mic drop.
That's a good one. So no rants.
No rant from me.
All right.
It's been good, long week, but then again, hey, we're going into postseason. We'll be busy. So
well,
keep me busy.
I kind of alluded to my rant earlier in the show. I am so excited what has been happening with Nico and what has been happening with Shedeur because of a big reason. I think, guys, that we are coming down to the end of Daddy Ball.
I think we are.
Because let's be real. It's not just here. It's all across the country. I've seen it in fields in my 20 plus years of sports media. I've seen it in fields, courts, rinks, all of stadiums all across the country where you've just got parents that are so involved, over the top, trying to control every move and every action of their kids. No matter how many times college coaches and pro coaches tell them that's not going to fly here, they still do it. So let me give a message to all the parents all across the country. If the NFL is going to ignore one of its greatest players of all time, what do you think the other pro leagues think about you? They don't. If your kid is good enough and they are talented enough, they will get to where they need to go. If they work hard enough, they dedicate themselves, if they humble themselves enough, they will get to where they need to go. These leagues do not care about you. Never have, never will. Why? They're about two things, winning and money, and not always in that order. So, if they don't care about one of its 20th greatest players of all time, and their kids, they really don't care about you. So, lighten up with all of this crap that I've seen all across the country, everywhere I've worked. It's here, it's in Macon, Georgia, it's in Charleston, West Virginia, it's in Bloomfield, West Virginia, it's in State College, Pennsylvania. All these places I've worked, I have seen it everywhere. We are not different than anywhere else across the country. Once your kid gets to a certain level, you cannot control it. And why? And at the end of the day, your kid is worse off because of all the control that you have had at the end of the day. So if the NFL doesn't care what Deion Sanders has to say about his kid, they sure as heck don't care about you and your opinions. So best thing for you to do is put your kids in the right, capable hands, and we've got a ton of them here across the area. All of our high school coaches are more than capable of handling your kid, making them work hard, putting them in the best positions to succeed, in the best positions to get to the next level, if that's what they want to do. Do not push your kids to do something that they do not want to do. Because I think this weekend, and what we've seen with Nico, and what we're starting to see with a lot of people across the country, is it is a referendum. These leagues, these teams want to win and make money. If your kid's not going to help them do that, they do not care about your opinions. Period. End of story. And I feel so much better.
Well, it's what a lot of people say, and I'm going to say it. You know, people say that it's a business more than it is a game when it comes to those other leagues. So that's all you can say. I think Mark Jackson was the one that said that whenever trades went down, saying it's a business, not a game.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
You know, you're about making. It's like CM Punk says, "I'm not here to make friends.
I'm not here to make friends.
Money.
I'm here to make money." One of my favorite promos ever.
And there's some sort of quote. It's not. It's a money business. It's not show business.
Yep, exactly.
And so I think this has been a great weekend for sports all around. That you've got to prove that you can play at that level, and no amount of talking from one of the greatest players of all time is going to help you out in that.
Well, it gives me good feeling that the big guys are still in control, and it doesn't look like it's going to move that way.
No,
it's going to get away.
I think the owners are starting to take some. NFL's always had more owners have had more control, but Which, you know, and with some of them, that's great. With some of them, like the guy in Carolina and the guy in Cleveland, those guys you might not want, or the guy in Indianapolis, or say you might not want that so much control, or Davis. I mean, I can go on and on.
Yeah.
But, you know, at the end of the day, it's their team, it's their money. They can spend it however they want to. And you have to convince them that you are worth that money. And if your talent isn't good enough, you're not going to get that money. So stay smart, stay humble, work your tails off. If you're good enough to get there, you're going to get there. That's
all you can say.
That's all you can say. And start loosening some of the chains now. Let your kids be kids. Let your coaches coach. And if the opportunity is there for them to go to the next level, great. And if they get another opportunity beyond that next level, even better. But at some point, you got to take the reins off. Because if you wait till the pro level to do it, these organizations are starting to tell you that was too little too late. So just my humble opinion. So I'm hoping, actually, I'm starting to see a lot of that change.
We've seen it just this week in the past 2 weeks.
So I'm hoping to see, it's going to be gradual. It's not going to happen overnight, but I think it's a good thing long term for sports.
There we go.
All right, well, that will do it for X Sports Live. For Clint Brazier, Hayden Burks, I'm AJ Good. Thank you to our main sponsor in C&B Linen. We will see you guys next week.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.